All right, hi everyone. So today in this video, I'm going to show you how to make some stationing and an alignment. So before we start, you just want to verify your working units are in feet. So to do that, you're going to want to come up to settings, go to design file, come down to working units, and verify that the master unit is feet. Then go ahead and just click OK. So to begin an alignment, the first thing you need is a completed complex chain. So as you can see, this alignment is already drawn right here, starting at the 50. There is no stationing on it, so you will have to create that yourself. But you can see this alignment is a bunch of different line strings. So in order to make an alignment and put stationing on it, you're going to need to come up to 62, which is create complex line chain. Go ahead and click that and connect all of your lines. Be sure to click the line that is directly next to the one you last clicked, just because if not, InRoads will connect the two lines you clicked without really giving an accurate station. Okay, so now that all of them are clicked, you're going to go ahead and left click to accept it, and then right click to end chain. So you're going to come up to back to 1 and just verify that this line chain has been completed. It might change colors like mine did to blue. So once you click it, you can see this entire thing is one item. So to continue, what we're going to do is pull up your little InRoads box, and you're going to want to import this line chain. So you're going to go to File, go to Import. Let's go to Import Geometry. Okay, so you make sure the type is on horizontal alignment, and go ahead and name this something along the lines of ramp alignment. All right, go ahead and click Apply. And down here, it's going to ask you to identify the elements. Go ahead and click the element, left click, and then right click. And here you see the last letter change. That means the alignment went through. So just go ahead and close it. You can verify this by going to your geometry tab. You might be stuck on the surfaces tab. Be sure to switch geometry. Go ahead and click this little tree. And there you see, the ramp alignment was created. So there are a few ways to make an alignment. The way that I prefer is actually to make my own tick marks and let InRoads make the actual number for me. That's just my preference. You can go ahead and do it whichever way you prefer. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it by manually creating your own tick marks. So to make your own tick marks, you're going to choose a tick mark like size. In this example, Caltrans gave it to us. So I'm going to go ahead and create this tick mark. So what I'm doing right now is just verifying that this tick mark is just one long piece. You don't want two different pieces. So in order to create the tick marks at a consistent length, you're going to go to the array function provided here in the 3 box. So you'll go ahead and click array. And you're going to want to select a long path by distance at 100 feet because our stations go by 100 feet. And you're going to want to make sure that the items will be able to rotate as you go along. So you'll select the item, accept it, right click it. All right, just to redo this really quick. So to make these tick marks at a consistent length of 100 feet, you're going to want to come up to this button to array. Make sure this says a long path, distance, and 100 feet, and rotate items is checked. You'll come to this intersection, the middle of the tick mark and the actual alignment. You'll click it once to select the item you want to array, and then select again to select the path you want to array it on. And you'll just zoom out and you'll see there's a bunch of white tick marks or white circles. Those will be where the tick marks will be. So you go ahead and click the end of your alignment, and now you see the tick marks were put in on a consistent length. So if you want to verify that, go ahead and go to D1, which is right here, measure distance. If you're on a straight line, you can do measure points. So you can measure the points, the distance between these. As you can see, it comes up as 100 feet. Or if you're on a curve, like over here, you can go ahead and switch this to a long element. So go ahead and click it here and then measure the distance to there. And that also says 100 feet. So we know our tick marks are at a consistent 100 feet. All right, now that you have your actual tick marks down, the next step is to make the numbers, the alignment. So this 50 is here just because I'm using it as a kind of reference. This is what Caltrans has provided, so this is what I'm using, trying to simulate. So in order to make your stationing, first thing you need to do after you already have your ramp alignment is make sure your ramp alignment is set active. And you'll know that by this like red square around like this little line. So let's do that. You go to geometry, view geometry, active horizontal. Geometry active horizontal. You might see a white line pop up in like the middle. That just means like that's the alignment. You really won't need that. It's just kind of for reference. So you'll go to geometry, horizontal curve set, to stationing. So your starting station might be kind of different for depending on what situation you're in. But the way you're going to go about it here is your starting station will be at the beginning at like this point. So you see this is station 50. So in order to calculate your starting station, you're going to want to come back and count back 10.8266 feet from 50. So you're going to want to calculate that. And for me, it's going to be 49.8917. That is going to be this initial point at the start of the alignment. So I already have that inputted. So go ahead and calculate what your starting station is based off of the 50 that you established. You'll go ahead and click apply and then close. After you have that done, you'll come to geometry, view geometry, and to stationing. So here you have your limits. You're going to want to start your stationing at 50 right here, because that's where you want the stationing to start. That's where you establish your tick mark. So go ahead and change this number to 50.00.00. After that, go to regular stations. Make sure you have major station clicked. I turn off major ticks. This is the alternative way of making the ticks. I like to make them manually using the array function. You can go this route and just do the major ticks this way. I think it's a little more complicated, but if you can figure it out, go for it. Some of these other boxes might be filled in. Go ahead and unclick those. Flip through these like the cardinal stations, point of intersection, station equations, event points, and just click through them and make sure all of them are clicked off. Because if not, you'll start getting the like stationing for like the point of intersection. If you need that, go ahead and turn that on. But for stationing purposes, you don't. So once you have that clicked, you're going to go to the format, and you want to make sure this one right here with the S's and like the brackets is clicked. Then you'll come to this box right here. Go ahead and click that, and these are all of your settings for your text. So here you can change what level you want them to go on. I'm putting them on level 0 just for reference at this point. Usually you're going to want to put them on the assigned level. So right here, you probably want to put them on ramp alignment. So actually ramp annotation, that would be the better one. You can always go back and change that later, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to put it on 0. You can also change the color, the weight, the font. So here are the major things you need to keep in mind. So for justification, you want to change this to center top. All right. For the height, this height is going to be 5.9055. I got this number by just looking at the properties of the height that Caltrans gave us in this 50. That was the closest I got. You can go ahead and change that if you find a better height, but just make sure you make it uniform with all the geometric teams. You're going to want to look at the rotation, change it to angle relative to object, and switch this to 90 degrees. That'll flip the stationing. And then for the offsets, you're going to change the vertical to 15. So we'll go ahead and click OK, and then apply. And you can see all the stationing has popped up. So I left the 50 here that Caltrans gave us just as a reference. I think it's pretty close. It doesn't have to be exact. Just make sure that the tick marks and the station line up at the end of your alignment. As you can see, the tick mark is pretty much in the center of the 73, so you should be good. Don't mind this N73. This just means 73 and some change. When you transfer this over to Civil 3D, it'll go ahead and become like an independent little number, and you can go ahead and delete that or change it to the stationing that you want. So that's how you create an alignment. And to transfer this to AutoCAD, you're going to want to go to File. You will go to Save As. And then you will go down to Autodesk DWG. So go ahead and click this, and you'll click Save. And that's how you get your alignment. Last side note, if you see your stationing isn't coming up, one thing to do is to come up here to the level display and make sure the level is on, because the level might be off and the stationing is there, but you're not able to see it. So you need to make sure and turn the level on, just depending on what level you chose to put the stationing on. Just make sure to make it consistent. All of these tick marks and these numbers should be on the same level. Sometimes they're not. Again, just check with your geometric team lead to be sure to determine where you guys are going to put these, because these levels will transfer over to the levels on AutoCAD and Civil 3D.